But say I don't got no introductions no more, man. Let's get straight to it. The season has started. I haven't talked to you since the season started, so I already know
Man,
you probably on some other shit. You probably worse than everybody else out in this world talking that old nonsense, overreacting. 11 games into the season, so I guess we got to start off this right. Let's start off with like since my favorite player is playing for my favorite team. Let's start off with my boy Russ, man. So you want to do this one. You want to do this one. So you want to walk you want to
yeah, I'll start it off.
and I'll go
I'll
about.
start it off. I'll start it off. All
Go
right.
go. The floor is yours, my friend.
So look, I'll tell you this. This is what's I don't want to say just what's wrong with Russ, but what's wrong with the Lakers, and I'll put Russ in there. All right. So Russ has not been expected. There's not been much expected of Russ since KD left, and because there was nothing really expected of Russ, putting up big numbers and simply getting to the playoffs was something that Russ was applauded for. So being able to have the type of drive that he has and be able to uh, get triple doubles at a record pace, like this is it's ridiculous the amount of effort that this dude puts in as far as his game, as far as on the offensive end at least. And the way that he's able to put up numbers is I can definitely argue that that is way better than anything that we've ever seen. The the thing is for the Lakers, that's not what the Lakers are looking to do. Lakers are looking to win a championship. And Russ is being, and it's early, so I'm gonna preface that by that. It's just it's way too early to say we're not even a quarter into the season yet. But Russ has being exposed as a stat pattern who does not contribute to wins or not contribute on the level that he should. So that's what I'm gonna say. And I think when it comes down to the Lakers problem is not just Russ, but Russ is contributing to that problem. So when you have your three main stars, right, who even though Brian is the best 3-point shooter out of him, AD, and Russ, um, you would much rather Brian shoot the three rather than Brian drive to the goal. When Russ doesn't have the ball, he's useless. It doesn't even like you don't even have to look at him when Russ don't have the ball. And AD for the last 2 years, he's been under 30% from three. So if we just looking at those three, putting those three on the court together is bad. And then the fact that they starting to line up with DeAndre Jordan, like they have really one shooter on the court who starts. And that's the least amount of your trouble. Now, the one thing that I will say is the play that I seen them run, and I forgot who they was playing against, but the play that I seen them run that works well, and this is gonna work well if LeBron can like hit that three from distance. Um, if LeBron can hit that three from distance um, consistently, right? If when they have LeBron running a point, Russ is on the pick and roll, right? Russ is the pick man. Once they pass the ball to Russ, now they have like a mini fast break, kind of like what Stephen Draymond does, or what Stephen Draymond did. And Russ is a skilled enough passer to win. It's 4-on-3 to where he's going to make a good decision. It's just that's the only thing that I've seen a spark of light for the Lakers when it comes down to having those people on the court together. Because when you don't have those people, when you have those people on the court together, if you have LeBron with the ball and Russ don't have it, AD don't have it, you can just pack the lane because you ain't really got to worry about Russ. You gotta what? You gotta watch Malik Monk. You feel me? So I'm just saying that the way that they fit right now is bad. Oh, one more thing that I think is a good lineup for us. When they play LeBron, kind of like at the five, when they play that small ball lineup where they have LeBron and Melo in the game together, and they basically the bigs, like taking the center out from the defensive end, like that's that's love for them because Russ get to play his game. He's going up and down the court. He's attacking the basket with no center there. I think that's I think that's a good lineup for them. But other than that, the way that they playing the lineups right now, uh, yeah, Russ is getting exposed.
All right. So I guess I'll try to address this one at a time. You say he's being exposed as a stat pattern.
Yeah,
That's what you're starting off with.
yeah,
Okay. And did you feel like he was a stat pattern before this season?
yeah.
So how's he being exposed as a stat pattern?
Okay, you want me to reply to that? I don't know if you was
I
just
actually
going
do.
on.
I actually do. Before I even
Okay,
get to
okay.
that, I'm curious. You say he's being exposed as a stat pattern, but to my knowledge, that was his pretty much his persona was a stat pattern beforehand. So I really want to hear your
When
rebuttal
I,
on that real
so the
quick.
so the thing is, what I'm saying is, when I say he's being exposed as a stat pattern, what Russ does, or what Russ has done, Russ has played on teams that had very little expectations of him. Like so, when he played in OKC didn't really have expectations of a championship. So his the year after KD left, they didn't have any expectations of a championship. When they got Paul George and Melo, they didn't really have any expectations of a championship, and Melo looked washed. All right, we could debate that because like at this point, are we saying that Melo has gotten better, like over over these years that he's been playing, or the fact that the expectations on Melo are different? You feel me? We could try to do that, or we actually allow Melo to do what Melo does. You feel me? Um, when it comes down to Houston, there probably was some expectation there, but there wasn't for most people didn't have a championship expectation for him. And then for the Wizards, we're just happy that he got in the playoffs. So most teams that we mess around with Russ, we put him in the MVP conversation for getting to the playoffs. The MVP that he won, he was the sixth seed. So that was indicative of the expectations that there was for him. Because if you are the sixth seed,
He
why are
had the
you the
best season.
MVP?
He had the best season. He had the
Listen,
best season.
I'm not no, I'm not debating that. What I'm debating on it was the based on expectations. Like that's what I'm saying. It was based on
Okay.
expectations.
All right. All
So
right. Okay. So now I got it. I was trying to make sure
mhm,
what you meant is he's being
right.
exposed as. So you're saying he's exposed as being a winner. That's what I feel like you're saying.
No, what I'm saying that he's being exposed as a stat pattern. When he was stat padding on teams that were mediocre and didn't have any expectation, it was great because Russ looks like Hercules. That's cool. When it comes down to the Lakers are expected to win a championship or at least get there. That's what we're expecting from the Lakers. And the fact that Kyrie Irving is not playing for the Nets, the Lakers are the favorite to win the championships preseason, right? Now the Lakers are what they in a seventh seed or whatever like that, or 10th seed. I don't know. They like basically, and again, it's too early to say anything right now. But I'm saying this is who Russ is. Russ is going to give you those big numbers because he's damn near averaging triple double right now. You feel me? But he's a high usage, inefficient player that's going to give you numbers, but the wins are going to be mediocre. Now the thing is, he's good enough to get you in the playoffs. He's that. But other than that, what we really expect from Russ?
So I'll break everything down. So Russ shows that he's a winner. Russ shows that he's not capable of leading his team to a championship. That's not his expectation. As far as the quote unquote stat padding, I think you're just accusing his style of play as stat padding off of favoritism. He's not a stat padder when it comes to scoring. He don't try to throw flashy passes or force assists. He pretty much do his assists from pick and rolls or just from a pass to 3-point shooter. So the only thing people try to expose him for stat padding is rebounding. But my argument back at that is that he's the best option for a rebounder because he's probably still top 10 of the fastest players in the NBA. So why not him start the outlet or start the break? As far as this season goes, I mean, the last big All-Star big man he played with was what? Nobody. So he's trying to adjust to playing with Anthony Davis. I get that. I don't know why DeAndre Jordan in the starting lineup myself. I don't really approve of that. I don't even know why they signed him. But I think we overrating Melo because Melo will have a good season, a good game, and then all of a sudden there'll be just like last game. I think he went 1 for 11. So I think we're putting a spotlight on Russ, but the Lakers as a whole is the defense that sucks. It's not Russ. Russ is playing like Russ right now. Like if you all of a sudden expected Russ to just put on the Lakers jersey and shoot 40% from three, that's your fault. What I expected from Russ is what I'm seeing from Russ right now. The defense is bad. These dudes are being negative 23 on the field and negative 32. So once the defense get together, I think they'll wind up being better when they get Ariza and some other key pieces back. Of course, LeBron, when he get back, that leadership will play a role into it. But I think all that nonsense people doing is overreaction. I think every time you turn on a TV, they analyzing a game from the Lakers, and I think it's nonsense. Again, your take on the LeBron James at center and Carmelo at the 4. What good that's gonna do to win a championship? None. Your best bet at the championship is having Russ on the floor, even if he off ball. Are you forgetting he's a good slasher? You trying to say he's not a good defender, but if you had to name defensive point guards in the league, how far it's gonna be before you get to Russ? Russ plays defense. I mean, he's not the most elite of defenders, but go through your point guards. Go through your point guards. Seriously, go through them. Steph, Luka. You only gonna name probably 5 defensive point guards before you just naming people. So you can hold the defensive nonsense. As far as him playing off ball, we're not gonna act like he's not a slasher. We seen him slash to the goal. Like if you saying oh he's not a threat as a shooter, okay, that's why he facilitates the ball. And that's pretty much my whole take on Russell Westbrook. I think the Lakers gonna be fine. I think LeBron is actually low managing. I don't think he's hurt all the time, but last time I checked, the Lakers 5-5 or 6-5, and it's not even the first quarter of the season. So yeah, they'll be fine.
All right. So to kind of go about the Russ stat padding point that I was making. All right. So when it comes down to Russ, Russ constantly is 1 or 2 in turnovers per season. Like that's who he is. He's constantly 1 or 2 in turnovers per season. So that's who he is. And I don't want to say you usually lead turnovers when you're forcing a pass, but that's the people who has been leading in turnovers is the people who's been forcing the pass. So even though Russ is a gifted passer, Russ has been Jameis Winston in Tampa. He's been the dude who's going to lead the league in assists and lead the league in turnovers when he leads the league in assists. And if he does not lead the league in assists, where he's 1 or 2, he's 1 or 2 in turnovers. If we're looking at his rebounds, when it comes down to his rebounds, ever since the first year he's been in the league, he's averaged roughly 1.7 offensive rebounds. That has not changed. None of that has changed. It has only changed on defensive end as far as defensive rebounds. So, like trying not to go too deep into that, this is where Russ has raised his rebound level on a defensive end, right? And this is in we've already had videos where Russ has been exposed about leaving his man not boxing out and rebound chasing his own teammate. I know Melo said this, and I don't know if it was a joke at one point, but he was like, Russ steals other people's rebounds. And if we talk about the points, when it comes down points for Russ scores.
Is that
Wait,
new?
wait, give me a second. Give me a second. I'm saying Russ scores, but Russ scores on a high shooting volume. Russ is not going to be that. Russ is not going to be that
He shot
person.
11 times last game.
You're talking about last game. You talking about I'm talking about over the last what? It's been 5 years since KD and Russ played
No,
together.
we can't
So it's
you can't you wait, he's
no.
in a different role now.
Okay, so question. Let's do this. Let's stay with Russ on the Lakers. How many shots is he averaging a game? And it's going to probably be close to the amount of points that he's averaging a game.
He's leading the Lakers right now.
In shots. No, I'm saying shots.
I'm just saying he's leading. He's the number one option right now.
Well, that's one point that is like that, because AD is supposed to be the number one option. But if you're the person who has the ball and you're not getting it to your most talented scorer, that's an issue as a point guard. You feel me? You can have this ego shit, but get that out of here, because you can excel in a different role. Let's be honest. On the Lakers right now, Russ is the second option. With LeBron back in the lineup, Russ is option number 3. All right. When you option number 3, then what you need to do is you need to play defense. That's what happens when you're a third option. Third options have to play defense. You can't just be a one-dimensional player. Steph can afford to do it. Trey can afford to do it. Like, those players can afford to do it. Giannis can afford to do it. Jokic can afford to do it. Like, some of these dudes can afford to be one-dimensional because they carry so much weight on offense. Russ is not carrying that same weight on offense because he's the third option. You have to contribute in ways that other people are not. You're supposed to be plugging in places for deficiencies. So when it comes down to Russ,
you're making up a role.
No, I'm saying he's the third option. Do we agree on that?
Yeah, I know.
I'm saying with him being a third option, then he should be more. And we talked about this. We talked about this.
You saying Kyrie had to play defense if he came back?
No, what I'm saying is the way that James Harden has changed his game to compensate for Kyrie. James Harden said, "I'm gonna be the point guard and I'm gonna distribute." You feel me? That's what he said. He needed to be a distributor.
LeBron can't do that. LeBron can't do that
if he wanted to. If that's what he wanted to do, but I think Brian is probably more concerned with catching Kareem. I think Brian is more concerned with catching Kareem. So I think he gave Russ that duty. Brian did that with the first year that there was him and AD was together. He was more concerned with distribution. That's the only year he led the league in assists. I think he had like 10 or 11 or something like that. So I think he gave that role at that time. I think he was what he said, I guess, beginning of the season, that he was going to give Russ the point guard role so he can focus more on scoring. That's what he said. So can Brian be like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and be the distributor? Yeah, he can. He can do that. I think the only problem with that is the fact that I know you say Russ slashes. Russ has slashed. He has done that before. That doesn't mean that's not something that he does normally. Like, watch the next game. Watch when Brian come back, because right now Russ has the ball.
I get it. It's not his.
No, but watch the
It's
next
not the
game
most
when
effective
Russ
game.
don't have the ball. No, I'm saying when Russ does not have the ball, it's like, why are you even looking at him? He's just gonna stand in the corner.
Welcome to NBA basketball.
On a
Welcome to
shot
NBA
that
basketball.
he can't, on a shot that he really can't make. You would rather him take that shot. Let him stand out there by the 3-point line. Once somebody throw it to him, what are you gonna do? You gonna shoot it? Okay, thank you. The Lakers beat Houston that way. Let Russ shoot the 3 every single time.
Nah, that was more about COVID and injuries. But look,
You the only one that believed that, but okay.
we'll let the comment section decide on that. Is Russ
So
getting
look,
exposed? Well, matter of fact, let's close out on this. From what you see, what you expect from the Lakers, I still got them as championship favorites, even after what I've seen in the first 11 games.
Again, it's too early to tell. I think they're going to get it together. I think there's going to be some lineup changes that they're going to be able to make, and they're going to be able to make in the long run. That's going to be more beneficial for the lineup that they have. Because one of the things that you did say was the defense is suffering, and they traded all the defensive players away or didn't re-sign them in order to get the players that they got. So they're going to make some changes. I don't know if they're gonna make it out the West. Just being honest with you, it's I don't know. I don't know if they're making it out the West, bro. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So like again, we'll let everybody decide on that one. It's all good. We can go ahead move on to the next topic.
I want to say this. Cool. Let me say this before we move on to the next topic. All right. So in the comments, this is what I want y'all to do. Y'all let us know. All right, what y'all think the Lakers gonna do as far as their championship chances. All right. Do you agree with me? Or do you agree with Blizzy Blaze?
Championship. Be smart. I say it every podcast. Be smart.
Look, first round, second round, conference finals, championship, whatever. Tell us what y'all think.
Championship. Bro, I'm gonna hold up the championship on the strength of, who else they gonna give it to, but yeah, Russ gonna y'all gonna be, just be cool. So look, before we move on,